you for having me.
Thank you, thank you. I am actually excited because we haven't seen each other in
I don't know how many years.
like
I
10
used to know if from back in the day.
back in
Just
the
like I
day.
used to sit at Hive from back in the day. So excited
Yeah, I am
to be here.
glad. And
Thank you
I'm
for
actually
inviting me.
I'm really excited to have you here. How have you been? What have you been up to?
So yeah, that's a loaded question. I am good. I am into AI these days. So if you want me to talk about that, we might just derail the entire conversation. But yeah, right now I'm the CEO of SocialPay. SocialPay is digital savings and lending for the unbanked. We work with savings groups in Jinja, Tororo, Mbale, Lira, and Gulu.
Okay.
We started last year in January, and we've worked with over 300 groups up country, doing lending and savings.
Okay, but you've not told us your name.
My name. My name is Zia. My name is Nicholas Kamanzi, and yeah, I'm the CEO of SocialPay.
Okay. It's quite interesting when you talk about your journey. I was thinking about that thing we talked about earlier, the thing you had put on Twitter of former taxi conductor. Like, I would like for people to know that story because it's nice for people to know the background of the people they look up to, because I want to know. I was very curious about it.
Okay, so I mean, of course, for Twitter, it's good to like put weird like things in your bio, and it's the most weird thing I could find. But like, yeah, so in my Form 4 vacation and Form 6 vacation, I used to work in the taxi business. My dad used to own a taxi.
Oh.
And so this is back in Nyantonde. So from Nyantonde to Kampala, I would be in the holidays pulling the door
Wajenda Kampala.
to make some extra money. But I did it mostly. So in Form 4, I was still very young. I was just like those people at the stage. I don't know if that qualifies as child labor. But it was paying. So there was this thing that the only hours I would be like accountable for would be from 8 to 6. So any money I made from 8 to 6, I had to hand over. But any other money I made before 8 and after 6 was my money. And so I would come very early. I would leave him like at home sleeping. I'll come very early. I would make money because most traders who are going to Kampala, actually from Western Uganda to Kampala, are moving around 5 and 6. So I would wake up very early and I would sell so many people at that time. I had some competition. So there was this, it's a long story, like that makes for a good Twitter bio. But yeah, so I started as a taxi conductor, but mostly in the...
That's actually really cool. That's really cool.
Vacations, yeah.
Joan, is there still time to sue his dad for child labor? Or it's...
Unfortunately, he has gone to be with the Lord, so but it doesn't qualify because I made so much money out of it. And I remember, so because Form 6, going to those 9 months between like when you finished like Form 6 going to university, I made like $1,000, so 3.5 million.
Oh my
so
God.
Going to university, like first I went on government sponsorship, so I was not paying for myself.
Oh, you were the rich
and then
kids.
I was like one of those rich kids at university with 3.5 million in my
oh my God.
in my pockets.
Yeah, the guys would go to the place.
So that's the benefit.
Sponsor people.
I mean, I was in a village somewhere. I went to Busitema University. So I don't know how many of you know where Busitema University is.
Where is it?
Tororo, yes. So it's in the middle of a forest. So there's no action. So you get in with 3.5 million, you're just going to like... I was taking like soda for lunch, like I was buying beer for people in the evening. It was, I mean, like what do you do with 3.5 million? But I'd earned it because of
Nicholas the Don.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that helps you to scale from 0 to...
It actually, no, okay, for me, what I like about that story is it's important we all know our origins, because most times when you see someone that is making it whose name is somewhere, you think this person actually started like that, because when you go back to different founders and you ask them their stories, someone will always have a story about where they came from, which is interesting because as we're at Hive, you started from Hive as well. When you were here, did you know exactly what you wanted to do? Did you know the products you wanted to work on? Like,
Yeah, so I was once a community manager at Hive Collab. So this is back in
one
20.
of us.
I was one of. I'm still one of
That's why I
Hive.
said one of us.
Like I still, I still love Hive Collab. So I was sitting here when we were doing our first startup. There's some familiar faces, of course. So my first startup was called Yoza,
I remember.
uh, or Yoza. If
Mm.
you're speaking Luganda, Yoza was when they put the white people are trying to pronounce it, they call it Yoza, and it was Yoza. So we started it here with my other two co-founders, and we used to sit like right across. Um, and of course, like Hive Collab, like would give us free space. At that time, we couldn't afford to pay for a desk, but the founders of Hive Collab liked our idea, and we negotiated that they could use our logo somewhere in their website for free space. I don't know if people can still do that.
Yes, you still can
But I
actually.
started here at Hive Collab. We're doing user. We did it for like around 2 years. And like right in the middle of doing user, I think the founder of Africa's Talking walked into this place. And so my office was actually where I'm sitting, like somewhere here. So I was doing my startup part time and like working for someone full time. And so I worked at Africa's Talking. So Africa's Talking is similar to InTouch, but they're not doing payments actually. They are doing value added services on a telco. So if you want to send messages for your apps, you can use Africa's Talking. If you want to use USSD, you can use them. So I helped launch Africa's Talking in Uganda. I was also like partly a community manager for Hive Collab before I started Yoza. So this was before. Um,
What actually inspired you to start User?
so there's this thing about like not wanting to do things for myself, especially my wife is like laughing at me. Laundry. I mean, like so when I was at university, I was still in a forest, in Sitema. I was not doing my laundry. Someone like would have this lady who comes around. You pay her 2,000 shillings. She washes your clothes.
Like Nkumi Bidi.
Could be BDS.
What year was this?
This is okay. I'm old. I know what you're trying to.
Because
I know what you're trying to get to. This is 2010.
it's okay.
So we actually were like I didn't want to do my loan. I'm still very lazy when it comes to doing certain tasks. So I started Yoza because I had moved to Kampala. I was staying with my brother, and every weekend there's this lady who used to wash for us. But the weekends she was busy with someone else. Like we had no laundry. We had to repeat our jeans. It's embarrassing, but we had to do it. So so then it was like, but there's always these other women in the neighborhood who can come and do your laundry. And at that time, of course, the business models like Uber were like very, very popular, where you would have an app and then you can create a marketplace where there's like supply is maybe people who are doing laundry and the demand is people who want their laundry done. And so because Uber was like exploding in the US like 2014, 2015, it was very easy to like say like, okay, we can also have the same thing. And so that's how we started Yoza. We started out of an MTN challenge. We won some money, so we had some small money to get started.
Some money.
To have some money to get started. So yeah, so I was sitting here like during that period. Yeah.
Okay. I don't think I remember the story of yours. It was about supporting single mothers. At least that was that just a peach story, or it was like, because I remember when they were doing the car ad. You remember that car ad
Yes.
you guys did?
Yeah. Yeah.
Supporting
So
single mothers. Was that a pitch
Actually,
story or it was?
I personally started. I mean, I'm not a very good storyteller, and you're in communication, so I personally could not come up with that story. But like I said, I started the business because I was lazy to do my laundry. Now, most people who do laundry in Kampala are actually single mothers. They are looking for extra income. Maybe the husband is no longer in the picture, but she has to survive. She has to take care of her kids. And and like the funny thing is like when BBC finds out about yours and does the story, the only person who was willing to do a story for us that weekend of BBC was this lady who was actually doing a lot of laundry in Chanja. And so when we went where she was doing the laundry, she had come with her kid. Like you can think we staged that. I didn't know we were helping single mothers
Serendipity.
up to that. Yeah, exactly. Up to that point, I didn't know. But as soon as like it happened, it was like, oh, you can start something and it can help people in like very interesting ways. And yeah, I mean, like we actually found out in the data that there was a lot more single mothers. We ran the business, of course, for 2 years. We did over 330,000 washes. We used to call them washes for people around Kampala. We had about 250 women who would like go and do laundry. We had like one man somewhere in
Single dad.
what is this place? It wasn't a single dad. It was a guy who wanted to actually like
Just make money.
Yeah, there are guys who also do this work, but it was majority women.
Okay, thank you. To be honest, for me, I like how your journey went through all that founders thing. Then somehow, somewhere, you went into formal employment. What happened along the way? 'Cause
Yeah,
you
so
just-
I mean, I can try to like you have to survive. Okay, that's the truth. Okay, you don't lie to yourselves. So there's like two things. The first one is like first was survival, but second was so the way yours ended was not very good. So we were three founders, and I wrote about this. You can read about it. I don't want to go through it
he has
again.
a Medium.
But
If you know what Medium means.
it was the only thing I wrote on Medium, and for some reason people meet me, it's like, oh, I read your story on Medium. Like, who still reads Medium? But
millennials.
yeah, exactly. Millennials. So yours ended because as founders we could not work with each other. We are still friends to this day, but when it came to doing work, it was like very very manual because we had not automated the entire business. It was so the way it's a marketplace. So the way marketplaces work is like the people who are doing the service are automated. They get automated requests to come and do the laundry, but every weekend, like we would end up picking up calls. Now, when you have 10 customers, 20 customers you're doing laundry for, that is something you can keep doing. You receive 10 phone calls. So media comes in. So when CNN, it was first BBC runs our story. And now for some reason, we were struggling to convince our friends to use us for laundry. But because they had seen the story on BBC, everyone wanted to do laundry with us. Like, you guys have the most perfect story. I also want to
was
use...
among the first people BBC.
You're one, okay,
Was
thank
among
you.
the first.
Thank you. But we end up getting like a lot of phone calls. We're still like 3 people running the team, like, and we were all getting phone calls. At first, the calls were only coming into my number. So we had like a toll-free number. You call the toll-free number. When you go to the app to request, it will take you to the toll-free number. And that's how we were going around. It was like not automated at all. And so because we had not fully built and fully automated the business, we were doing a lot of work on the weekends. And so, and like some people don't pick their calls and they're supposed to pick their calls. Customers complain. And so it's this like we were still very young. We did not know too much how to run a startup. the only examples we had is like stories that we see like Uber, but Uber was like fully automated. The drivers have an app. The riders have an app. The drivers have an app, and so the founder of Uber was not picking up calls over the weekend. And so for us, we went from like 10 customers to like 300 customers calling us in a single weekend, and it was very painful. But people still like wanted to do it, and we could not automate fast enough.
There's actually a question in there if someone has noticed and you've written it down. There's a very, very big question there. But for me, one of my favorite, a quote I got when I was going through your, and you have to research people before you speak to them. A quote I got out of your experience from that was when you say that failure is where all the lessons are.
Yeah. So when we look at things, I mean, I wrote that like more than 10 years ago. So I don't remember most of the things I wrote. But the thing about failure is, like most times, like failure is like related to something shameful. When you fail, like people take you to be like, you're such a loser. And because of that, there's a lot of people who never get started. I like what you're doing. Like you're doing like 10 things. You're probably going to fail at all of them, or maybe one of them will work out. But like that willingness to try is like if we did not try, we would not know that we are even helping single mothers. Like me, I started out of laziness, and if the thing worked or the thing didn't work, did I get my laundry washed?
You did.
And so I was happy that, and to this day, by the way, people still call my number. It's like, oh, I had saved you. Do you have someone to come and do my laundry? Like it's like 10 years later.
That's really
And
nice.
so, yes, we failed, but I think it's important to reflect on why you failed. And the reason we failed for Yoza was like, we were just not automating things. And as founders, we were very, very bad, inexperienced founders. And so there was no way around that. We either had to improve. And of course, the third thing is like, usually like some of the models for some of our startups is like things that we read in the media, and these startups that are like reaping and are doing really, really well. And like those startups are highly funded and you don't have money. And so if you don't have money and you have a lot of problems, you're going to like yield to like take the shortcut in a way. But I think the thing that that I personally took away from that failure is like, we did not actually fail. We learned how to like register a business, get it in front of people, get women who don't have work, give them work, and we did a good job at that. Like get people who are lazy like me to try your thing and actually pay you money for it. And like there's so many things that you learn from starting a business that like you can never learn from maybe taking a less risky path. And I'll definitely do it over. I mean, I'm doing it over again. But if you fear failing, you never start anything. And so you will have that idea that you're always thinking about, that you always see other people are like working on, and you always want to try it, and you always think about it. Like when you're in the shower, you're thinking about it. When like you're sleeping, you dream about it. When you wake up, you see other people and you say, but this thing, someone should solve it. Like that idea, you never start it because you think like you disqualify yourself. But most of that is like fear. And so if you want to find yourself, sometimes you need to like get over your fear of failure and actually try something. And even if you fail, you look back and say like, okay, I actually tried something, and that thing turned out into something else. It turned out to help other people. Maybe failure for me was like the business did not work, but if you look at it at my scorecard for like user, it's like there's like a ton of impact. There's a ton of progress I made personally, and I met a lot of people. Those people actually were then later important for like all the other things I have done. Yeah.
So basically, find a problem, try to find a solution for that problem, then make sure that there's awareness for what you are solving, and then try to make sure there's impact in what you are.
No, so like you see, like you're overthinking it. You
See?
have the first thing. I'm not a good storyteller. I know that. The thing you have to start with is you have to give yourself permission to try things.
As many as you can.
Okay. If you don't give yourself permission, you're going to say, I'm not trying because I will fail. I am not posting my thing because how will this person think? Like a good example of like this week for me was, so I was trying to record this video I put on LinkedIn. You can see it. And I'm trying to do a demo of like a product that we've built this week.
Then
And I did so many takes, and the every take I would like say the wrong things, and like I would do it again and I'll do it again. And I'd done it probably like 20 times, and I got to a take that is actually good. But towards the end of like this take, the thing actually made a mistake. I was like, there's no way I'm going to do this thing again. It is done. I laughed at myself. I shipped it. It's on LinkedIn. You can go watch it and like laugh at me. But I was like, okay, I mean, who cares? Who is going to like laugh at this or think it's unprofessional? It doesn't really matter. So I was like in that position, willing to fail. But I'd failed so many times up to that point, and I was willing to like put out something that is actually not, I mean, in quote unquote professional, but you get like most of the demo that I wanted you to see. So give yourself permission to fail, and I mean, if you want to start a business, start a business. If you want to try something in life, try it. And if you fail, you'll learn like a ton of things. I mean, failure is like literally what other people call it, but like you can, in a way, trick your brain, and you learn so much. You'll meet so many people. You'll get experiences out of it, and you'll touch so many lives. So don't, like, fear is a thing maybe that is holding you back. I know it's cliche, but like it's actually true. The reason why we don't have more founders, the reason like people don't try things, is because they fear to fail. The reason why I enjoy it is because I will fail, but like you will know I've failed, but you will still be in the same place that you are in. And I'll still be in a much, much better place. So
it's quite interesting because not many founders or people that have been in the industry are able to be vulnerable about their failures as you have been, especially with the fact that even after you did all those big the startups, and then now you end up going to SafeBoda, then you go to Wave, and now here you are back again with SocialPay.
I enjoy pain.
So because of that, are there like for example, like the compliance issues that you have learned along the way? For example, I noticed that with yours, one of the things that you said that you guys were just a lean team. Wouldn't you have then created something he spoke about earlier on, like a sort of like bot or something that automates the responses to the customers? Is there something like solutions that would have, if you thought about it, could have mitigated, the disruption that ended up ending the...
I mean, there's always something you can do. So I cannot sit here and say there's nothing you can do. But again, looking back, it's like 10 years or 9 years back, like we were not funded and we were a small lean team. It's like what we put in is what we got out. And I don't know, like right now, I feel like if someone tries again, they might succeed. But you cannot stop yourself from doing things because you're thinking about the ways those things are going to fail or the ways those things need to be perfect. Like, yes, we would have automated, but no, maybe there was no WhatsApp APIs at that point. And you could not build a WhatsApp bot. And no, like you didn't have like these tools where you can like vibe code the parts that you need and plug them into the entire business and not have to like rely on going. I mean, those of you who have written software, you know how we would go back and forth between the code and Stack Overflow. You're stuck. You go read like 100 blogs.
Please simplifying just the English.
The guys understand it. The guys understand.
Code, word.
So before, when let's say you're writing software and you had an issue, you had to go research, Google search many pages, read, understand, and then solve the thing that you're trying to solve. Then it doesn't get solved. It introduces another like problem. Then you have to go research and solve that problem. Now you just put in Claude and Codex, and the thing just before 2 minutes you're done. You know, so the world is different now.
It is.
And it is very easy from where the world is to assume that things have always been that way. Yeah, but like 10 years ago it was tough. And so
would you say it's a little bit much easier for the current founders right now if they're starting they're trying to find a solution for something? Do you think it's much easier for them than it was for you guys?
yeah, so I mean, I'm a founder right now, and I'll tell you it is much easier.
Okay.
And like the reason I say it is much easier, the reason this guy is doing 10 things is because he has actually time to do all those 10 things.
Is this because of AI or
Yes,
it's
100%. Without
so how do we then use this AI to work for us in the same way? This is basically our last part before we get to the questions from the floor.
No, I think we are in, I call it a moment, and we are in a moment where technology has evolved to a point where you can build and create anything. So before, the thing that would stop people like me, like you, from doing the thing that you want to do, like building the marketing agency that you want to build, like building. I met a dentist the other day who has always wanted to build tools for his dentist shop, and is using like AI to build tools that bring customers in and record the customers and follow up with them. And he's doing it without any coding experience. So he didn't have to learn software development to be able to write software. He's just a dentist who wants his customers to get a good experience when they come to his shop. So he starts with, I believe we are in a moment where like the tools have become so good that you can, even when you have a full-time job, build an actual business that is fully automated, not the business we are doing at Yoza. Fully automated, customers come in, can get served, can get everything that they need without you having to quit even your job. And like that is possible. And there's literally not a lot of people talking about it. But if you're just maybe using ChatGPT, you saw it maybe 1 or 2 years ago. But that is ChatGPT for chat. What I'm saying is like you need to use the tools that are actually building. That are building the things the ideas that you want to see in the world. You can build them today.
What tools are those?
Claude. I use Claude. Codex is there, but like you see, like when maybe programmers are talking about, or people who have written software are talking about these things, you might think they are so hard to do because those guys know how to talk to the AI. Okay, how many of you have used ChatGPT? All of us. Okay, how many? So you know the time before. Okay, how many were using ChatGPT in November of 2022? November 2022. Okay, there are like 4 or 5 people. How many used it in 2020? Started in 2023. So the guys that used ChatGPT in 2022, you knew you had a tool that could do a lot of things before other people found out about it. And you know the powers like you had at that point. And you know you're telling all your friends, you need to use this tool, and your friends are not using it. Yeah? So we're in a similar moment like that, but for coding. Okay? So if you have an idea in your head, you can now go and describe that thing to Claude and say, I want to build a bot that runs my business. I don't want to do anything. I want people to interact with it via WhatsApp. I want every time they order for you to request the order to be sent. I want every time they order for money to be deposited in this bank account. You can describe the thing, and in 5 minutes, it will get built. This is the same thing when we used to tell people, like, use ChatGPT, and they're like, those AI things, I can never use it. And then 6 months later, they were all using it. Okay? We are in a similar phase. So in October, I can predict, those of you who have not used the AI tool to build something, you'll be able to go in October. You can start now, but because you don't want, you'll use it in October and you tell everyone, I have built this and this and this and this. Okay? So because of these moments, we need to be a lot more ambitious. You cannot afford, if you're doing any role, think about any role that you're doing. I'm a salesperson at MTN. You can go into the tool and say, I want to hit my sales quotas. This is what I'm struggling with. This is where I need to be. Give me the things I need to do to get the thing that I need, the goal that I want. Can give it an objective, and I promise you, the output that you will get will make you stand out in your role. It is not happened yet for sales. It has not yet happened for operations. It is happening. It has happened to the programmers. Now those guys are now scared because before they used to say, I will write this thing and I come back to you. But now it is happening to program managers, people who are designers, people who are working in growth. They're now starting to use the coding tools and they are building things. And because they're building things, they are putting them out. Okay. It is going to happen to marketing. It is in like 3 months. Okay? I'm not kidding.
Why are you saying 3 months?
Because you guys are still holding out. The thing has already happened. Meanwhile, like you can, I mean, okay, I'll use my example. In the last 30 days, I last even looked at programming like 11 years ago when okay, not 11, 14 years ago. Okay, when I was doing my university project. And the reason like it was so hard to build anything was like this back and forth. You had to have a lot of patience to build a product. Those of you who built before AI,
well done. Well done.
Okay? But now, in the last 30 days, I have built 3 products. They have customers. They're being used. Okay?
What are their names so that we know?
So like the 2 are internal tools. So we have a field team, and we need that field team to go out, meet customers, collect information, or like they have activities. Okay? But they have been telling me, so they go out, they meet customers, they come and narrate a story. Oh, I met this customer, they were not in the market, what? Like, so to improve my operations, I rolled out like a field app. Now this field app, you will go, you meet customer, you'll have all the information about this customer. You will talk to them and it will bring back information. But that information is not just coming back to me.
Yeah.
That information is going into a knowledge engine that we have built, okay? And that information, it says like, let's say the knowledge engine told this, I'm not even the one telling them. The knowledge engine is saying, if go and meet this customer because they have not paid back, or go and meet this group because we need to onboard them, okay? You think that is coming from me. It's not coming from me. You go meet this customer and the customer will tell you, they will give you the payment. And you say, customer has given me payment. Now the knowledge engine will now see what will happen to this customer, because it is monitoring all the data that is coming into our business. So that's the first thing. The second one, I built a way to chat with our database.
Nice.
So you can, if you have a savings group.
All these are you're doing them.
This is me.
This
is me. I'm the CEO of the business. I'm
but
not
you're
even
using the AI thingy that you're talking about.
Yes, this is me using Claude Max. And
the paid for version.
Yes. I mean, like, think about your job. You're getting paid. I don't know like how much people are getting paid. Let's say it's $100 to get the one that is not timed out. Okay, if you're going to spend 350,000 and in a month and improve your business by 100 times, would you do it?
Definitely, it's a cheat
code. So it's like there's no reason not to do it. And because the tool exists, I'm encouraging everyone. If you care about the work that you're doing, I know the organization might not want you to do it. If you're a founder, like literally you should be shipping code. If you're a founder, you know the problem, you know the customer, you will build it, you will go and sell it. You build it, you go and sell it. They'll tell you, oh, we need you to change these 5 features. You will go back, ship the change, go back tomorrow. I have put the 5 features.
First one, which founders, what is shipping? Like fresh
Or shipping is like, okay, my
'Cause
God, I'm sorry.
this language is
Shipping is like, what is shipping? It's like writing code and putting it on a server. Like writing your software and putting it on a,
okay.
like I said, I'm a bad storyteller.
No. Actually, funny enough, you are a good storyteller.
Are you going to
You're
start shipping?
You're a good orator. I'm just you're a good orator. Through this whole conversation,
Yeah.
you've actually helped us understand a lot of the stuff that many people wouldn't. I wouldn't have known what shipping is, but you've taken us through the journey. You've mapped it out for many of us, which now brings us to the section 4 questions, because you guys have had Nick speak for an hour, and now it's time for you guys to give us questions.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is this helpful? Or I have just wasted your 1 hour and you should have maybe gone home. Okay.
Hey, now that it's helpful, please bring your questions. I am going to move around. I will. Yes, of course. Yes. What a mentee. Yes.
Hi. Okay, it's thank you for sharing your user story. And what I'm going to ask you is in line with the user, how you happen to handle, like, let us say at the time whereby you were overwhelmed. I understand you fell out, but at the time whereby you knew, okay, what challenged you the most? Was it the people who were really ready, like, let us say that the single mothers, like people who were really ready to use her? Did you become overwhelmed because of the clients, or maybe you reached an instant whereby the people you had could not happen to do the job? Why am I asking you that? It's because recently I decided to take that path. I just didn't say it, but I'm into cleaning, whereby I offer moving, housekeeping, and post-construction. But then recently I realized that what disturbs people most is the laundry. So I try to, the first day I moved out of the home to look for clients, I definitely got them on that same day. Meaning there is need. So I said, let me now tell people, inform my clients who do not trust people going into their homes to do their business, to actually send laundry. So they drop off the laundry, I get women to wash, and then the laundry is taken back. So what I'm trying to ask is, how did you, what was, when it comes to the people who offer the service, what was missing? What challenge did you get?
Yeah. So how would I do yours better if I was doing it today? Is the question I'm hearing. So in the past, of course, it's very easy to say this thing or that thing. We did not have a challenge with washers or the women who are washing. We did not. The challenge was, like, we did not plan for scaling. We were running a small business and calling it a startup. And so when we got an influx of customers, we could not handle. Okay? So like you said, it is very easy, because laundry is not a problem that goes away. Unless you have a washing machine, every single week you're going to have to do your laundry, or you're going to have to get someone to do your laundry. So it's a problem that has not gone away to this day. Now you need to make sure that you plan for scale, because it's one of those problems that if people find out that you're solving, they are going to want to use you. They are going to want to try your service again, because it happens every single week. So you need to think through. So first, automate everything. Okay? Don't pick phone calls like I did. Make sure that the person who is supposed to receive a call is receiving a call. Make sure the woman either is having a smartphone to like accept or whatever. Just make sure everything is automated. Now, if everything is automated, the things that are going to break is going to be, are you opening up? Are people actually getting a good service? So focusing on service delivery, making sure that the clothes are washed very well, people are getting them. So service delivery. Then the other thing that will break will most likely be how fast, when you scale to new locations, how do you make sure that the same quality of service is moving to those locations? So if you're in Chanja and you're going to Nigeria, you need to make sure that, like, you're moving with the right people, you've done the right training. So it's mostly operational excellence. And yeah, that's the thing that would fail. But automate everything. Make sure, like, I would definitely do a subscription, because one of the things that we did at that time that really worked was, as opposed to like charging one by one, like every time you wash, you pay. We put a subscription. I don't know if it's my mic or so every time you would pay. Okay, so for us to retain the customer, we introduced a subscription, and I think this is the thing that really worked, because then customers would pay for 4 weeks of laundry, and then you have enough money to like handle operations, pay people, pay yourself, and keep the thing going. So yeah, and also like to pay the ladies immediately as opposed to like waiting. So I would definitely do like subscription and make customers pay upfront, give them a discount if they're paying upfront.
Thank you. Rusty, was your question answered? Okay. Whose hand came up first? Is it okay if I start from this side? Okay.
Thank you. For our next session, I think you should have a session on vibe coding for the founders, so that
I'm happy to. I mean, there's something that is happening. We can do it. We can do it. I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, but Nick, just to bring us back to your lessons, one of the things that as people are building is they're finding issues with raising funds to even scale up their products. So could you talk about like how you've handled that in some of the startups that you?
Yeah. So really I've done 2 startups. If you think about startups in the sense of startups, so I've done User and I've done SocialPay. Yeah, the other startups were funded. So SafeBoda, Wave we cannot even, like, Wave was so big, it was like heavily funded. So the first place I go for fundraising is my customers. I personally I want to make money from the customer first. I will put a caveat. I'm not like an expert at fundraising, okay? And I am still learning a ton of things. But the way I approach fundraising is first make the business, like make a small piece of the business that you think is scalable, working, making money, so that anyone, even if it's like your friends or investors, can come and actually invest in it. And if we build the minimum viable business, not product, minimum viable business that is growing, that we know is actually sustainable, then we can go out and like raise money for it. And so I'll talk about SocialPay specifically. So when I was starting SocialPay, I was a bit fortunate that like my former boss gave me some money and just to like get started. But I also like have friends and family that like gave me money to like go and do it. And when I was starting years, I didn't have like all these things. So some of it is like who in your network can actually fund or believe. Yes, the word is believe. Who in your network can believe in your work to actually give you some money to go and do it. But of course, you don't want to be the person who is losing people's money. So you need to be able to return especially for your friends, return the money to them. But my approach, I don't recommend it for a lot of people, is first, make sure you're charging customers. So for SocialPay, from the first day we started, we were making money from our first customer. Okay? So make sure you're making money from customer 1. And then for fundraising, it's like a cycle. Like I'm right now going through it. It's the same way. Like the thing that stops you is because you're fearing to fail. You will not try it. Okay? But it's like a volume game. The same way you go out and look for customers is the same way you have to go out and look for investors. But first, you need to believe in the story that you're going to tell. And for me, I want to first get validation that the thing is actually working, or is a vision that is going to work. And then I go out and sell that vision. And that is like, talk to as many people who have money as possible. In a world where people are only funding AI, it's like it's a whole different story. But there's other options. So fundraising, there's like things like grants that you can get that align with maybe people who are aligned with the work that you're doing. We work with a lot of women. We work with a lot of we work in financial inclusion. So there's people who fund that. I'm talking to those people, but I'm also like talking to people who are investing primarily in fintech, and so communicating different visions is also important. So to some people you're communicating impact. Some other people you're communicating like we are a scalable business. You invest in us, you're going to the moon. You're going to make so much money. So those types of people, and that also determines what goes on your website. So one thing that is on top of my list is like, okay, is our website communicating to investors who are impact investors or to like but it's something that I personally haven't really succeeded at. I think in my network it's easy for me to like find people to take a bet on me because they've seen my work. And that's how I have been able to like bootstrap and then like get customers. It's easier to get customers who are paying you than try to convince a bunch of strangers who maybe have never been to Uganda to invest in you. Like if your competition is unit trusts and land, okay, it is going to be very hard to convince people that you're not going to lose their money. And so people need to like really believe in what you're doing. And I'm grateful for the people that, take a bet on all of us because it's like it's a leap of faith. It's like things can work out, things can fail to work out. But like if you have these people in your life, you should send them a thank you message. You should not fail to like reach out to them, but also like you should be a good steward. You should be able to take their money seriously and actually give them a return. But yeah, that's how I would answer that. When I fundraise, I will come back and I do another one.
Thank you, Nicholas. My question comes from where you ended. You've just said we have to take their money serious, refund it, where possible, top it up. That means they believed in whatever we sold them, but they actually don't even know how we are going to get it. Now, we know that to see far, we have to stand on the shoulder of giants. And from your story, it's sure that one of the reasons Yoza dived down was because mentorship was a question somewhere. But when one analyzes your journey, they can clearly see that along the way, you found some giants on whose shoulder to stand. Yes, so my question is, what should we put in consideration to pick on people we can run to when things are falling apart? And most importantly, to validate. You spoke of validation. And of course, the validation in this case, I don't want to talk about the monetary bit of it. I'm speaking the whole idea. What should we put into consideration? And then most importantly, from your experience, personal experience, how did you do it? How did you get the best man on whose shoulders to stand to be the Nicholas we see?
Yeah. So I think this is the way I would approach it is like, first you need to go where people who are like you are. So Hive Collab is a good place. Okay, and you're already at Hive Collab. You increase the surface area of interesting people you're going to meet when you sit in places where those people might go. So there's people who maybe want to do things in Uganda that will start by saying, okay, what are the co-working places? Okay. And they will come to Hive Collab and they'll find you. So like in my journey, of course, I have met people like that. But the thing that I look back to that I think has increased that surface area of bumping into people is putting yourself in the open. Okay. It's like that thing, like you have to, everyone talks about it, we don't do it, but those who do it end up finding these interesting people. So you have to be willing to put your work out. That's the first thing. If your idea is staying on your laptop and is not getting out, and you're not talking about it to people who can actually use it, you're not going to increase your surface area. You're not going to get customers. Sometimes customers are the people whose shoulders you're going to stand on. They will see you, they will see the passion that you have, and they will remember all the things that they wanted to work on that they never worked on. And they are seeing the young man who actually wants to work on those things, and they will literally just give you a chance because you have showed up. So most people don't show up. So increasing, if you're looking for shoulders to stand on, that's another way. It's like, I will go out, I'll put myself out, and I will. So first, the product, you're putting your product out. You need to talk about the things that you're doing. It's uncomfortable. I mean, I'll be honest, I do not enjoy like putting my work on LinkedIn. I would rather be building my thing in silence. But it is hard to fundraise in Uganda. Okay? The people who are going to fundraise, who are going to maybe give us money, like every time I put out, this is a secret for LinkedIn. Every time I put out a LinkedIn post, I get like DMs from investors, people who are looking at the space, people who are interested in the thing that I just posted. Every single time. You will not believe it, like, but every single time I put it out, like that is the signal. So sometimes people who actually, our second investor in SocialPay had never met them. I just went on LinkedIn and said like, okay, I'm leaving Wave, I'm starting something new. The guy went through like, I don't know how many people to get to me. I don't know the guy. I have never met the guy. But the money came. Okay. So, but if I did not, so think about it, if I did not put, if let's say I left Wave and I did not say I have left Wave, and I just gone and, started the company, I would not have that money. That money has actually, it's like the most money we have received in the business came from a stranger I have never met. So, like, in what world does that happen? Okay, so you have to have faith in the thing that you're building, and you have to be willing to put it out. Actually, there's this guy I usually see sits at Hive. I don't know if he's around. If he's around, please forgive me. The guy is like a white boy. It's like keeps putting himself. It's like, what is this thing? Right? The guy is here. It's like puts his thing on LinkedIn every time. I'm like, what is wrong with this guy? But now I know he's up. Okay? And so that is the thing. So if you think like, oh, maybe my cousin who is a CEO of MTN is going to see me and is just going to like think, what is this boy doing? And I'm going to embarrass him. I will not do it. But I'm telling you, that guy is busy. And I'm like, what is wrong with this kid? He's called, I don't even know his name, but I know his face. Okay. But like that is the thing that that is the fear that we're talking about. You need to get over it. You need to put your work out. The people that are going to believe in your thing, might not be the immediate people that you sit with, that you talk with, that you go to watch football with, that you're in the same WhatsApp group. Those people will most likely actually not do anything for you. They will put hearts on your thing. I am not saying hearts are bad, but they will do it and they will never use it. Okay? And you'll be like, but why can't I find customers? And there's the same people and they are there. Okay? But they will not use it. And then a random stranger will see the thing that you're doing, will be like, okay, how much is your thing? I need it. Bring it, I will give you money. But because of, they will see this is a young person that is actually building something useful for me, they will take you more seriously. They will tell you, they will teach you things. Okay? Okay, they are giving me time. Guys, time is okay, no time. There's another question. I saw someone. Oh, see ya.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So I wanted to know about the issue of outsourcing.
Okay.
Yeah. So you've talked, and I didn't hear you talk about outsourcing much. But as you know, many startups, sometimes people might want to write proposals, or you might get a gig or work that might not be technically in your area, but you might need to outsource. So I wanted to know from you, with your experience, how or have you ever come across a situation where you needed to outsource for services that you cannot offer?
Yeah.
And if so, how have you handled such?
Yeah.
Thank
So when I was at Wave, we wanted to hire 6,000 people. Okay. We didn't want them to be employees of the business. These were salespeople who go out and sell Wave in the street. Okay. And so because we did not want them on our payroll, we wanted to pay someone to do that job. And for outsourcing, but the thing I would say is like make sure you have good agreements, and so you have to clearly define what you're going to do and what the other party is going to do. And so for us, we would say this person will come in, we'll pay them a base of this amount of money, and we require them to do X, Y, Z. Okay. But usually outsourcing, I mean, that did not really work out for us, but it has worked in other markets. And there's reasons why it didn't work out. But I think having a strong contract, being clear what you want to achieve, what you want from the other party, and who is going to be the stronger party in the contract. So you might want to outsource to a company that is going to literally take all your money. And because their service is expensive, you cannot like afford it. So strong contracts and making sure that the terms are like you watch them and you actually enforce them. The things that strangely that you would want to outsource, like I think the world has changed again. So call centers used to be something that you want to outsource a lot, and of course like telcos do this. But because the world is changing a lot, like there's a lot of software you can build to have those things in-house. So usually outsource the things that we don't want to do so that other people who have competencies do them. But the world has changed enough that you can potentially build those things in-house. So, but if you choose to go that route, like make sure you have strong contracts and make sure you follow through on those contracts.
Thank you so much, Nicholas. This has been very helpful, especially for us who are thinking of starting up things. Much as we've not mentioned them, we are still cooking. And the thing you've talked about LinkedIn, I think it's very, very important for everyone to have a LinkedIn account. I personally once got a job via LinkedIn from a stranger. Yeah, and they just gave me a chance to work with them. So my question is, since you've talked about AI and how are we going to be different from each other? Since most people end up doing the same things, how will we cope with the competition and also be different?
Yeah. So I think you've answered yourself, but you didn't. Let me make the answer clear. So in the age where intelligence is accessible by everyone, okay, how are you going to stand out? The way to stand out is to build your thing in public. Some people have talked about this, okay? In the age where everyone in this room can build, and you're all going to be building things. Let's say we have all built the same thing. How will you pick who to buy from? So you need to know the person, okay? So the people that are putting themselves out there are going to be the people want to buy from. Because people do not buy from machines. Yes, we say we shall buy from agents, but agents maybe will not pick you as the person to buy from, okay? But if you want a service, you probably buy it from someone that you have seen. So again, social media, like putting yourself out there and like talking about your thing is going to build a brand around you and the business. This is why I'm saying I've never met this guy, but I see him a lot. And if the moment comes and I want something that he's selling and you have all built it, I'm going to buy it from him because I have at least been seeing him. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is the people who go early and get comfortable with these tools. Okay, like I said at the start, when ChatGPT launched, there was a few of you who are using it. Now everyone is using it. Okay, and you can even tell this is ChatGPT. Okay, but now, even in like the age of like building, I have this joke and my friends don't like it. The guys who are working with these tools, the software engineers, you know, they have had this power of building these things and they were not telling us. We are just finding out. Okay. But now that we have found out, you need to use the tool. This thing is going to affect your business, your work, whether you want or not, unless you, I don't know which role that will not get touched. Because even the people who are doing construction, the agents will be telling you, go and construct, I will pay you. And because you're working for for a salary, you will go and work. Do you care who is paying you? Whether it is a machine or a human being, you will go and work. So use the tool. Use the tool to build the things that you've always wanted to build. Use the tool not to just tell it, oh, build me a button, make it green, do this. Give it a task. Tell it like your most, I usually tell people, I know I'm going to get all of you peeled on AI. I usually tell people, get Claude, ask it to organize your desktop. You know all those folders you have, all these files, all these screenshots? Install it, tell it, organize my laptop. And then sit back and see what it is doing, because you will see folders, your movies are put in the same movie folder, it is named very well. This one, I put this one here, I put this one there. This one, you last used it in this day. Do you want to delete? You say, okay, delete. I've freed up 10 GB of your space. And then the light bulb is going to go off. Me, I did not really get it until last weekend. So last weekend, like, if you have built a system, I can chat on my WhatsApp with my system. I can ask it now, how many customers have used us today? Okay? How many payments are delaying? And and it will give me all the information. And I'll tell it, okay, this person has saved or sent money. Make sure like they're given a phone call if we are supposed to give them a phone call. But then it is telling me, you know, you're the person who is now slowing me down. That is already powerful. Me chatting with my servers, okay, is possible today. But now with the thing, I asked it today, like, okay, you have seen what I'm telling you, but how can I get 100 times more from you? It says, you know, you spent 15 minutes coming back to me to do something. You tell me to do something, I do it immediately, and you spend 15 minutes to come back. And I'm like, this thing is going to replace me, whether I want or not. And so if I use it and I get to build a better business and I have an advantage before everyone else has an advantage, and I pair that with, you know, talking about my work, guess what? Like, I'll be teaching people, like I'll be showing, let's say, banks, because I'm building a fintech. This is how I can turn your revenues maybe from $1 billion to $2 billion, and they'll pay me money. Okay, so you need to use the tool. And if you have an idea and you have actually built it, you need to talk about it. Hey, by the way, I'm still here. I can stay. I'm not going away. I came for you. So if we have to continue, we can continue. But I also know there's time we have to. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Nicholas. You've preached. It was like a sermon to, I think, people who have products in market, trying it out. Mine is a little personal, like decision-making kind of question. Looking at someone who has a professional career path you're taking up, and more likely, I would say, for example, you being promoted to a senior role which needs more of your time, but of course coming with a good pay. And then you're running a startup that is starting to convert leads into real clients, and you're seeing progress, but not as good as the pay you're going for. What would be your advice?
Okay, so this one is easy because I've gone through this one. So there's two operating modes. So I'll give you the simple answer and then the hard answer. The simple answer is take the bigger money, okay? Get some of that money, pay people to do the work, okay? The actual answer really is, since you have something that is working, you need to ask yourself, what do I need to see to actually go full time? I have done a startup when I am part time, and I'm now doing a startup when I'm full time. Okay. Part time, things will slide. You'll be like, okay, fine. I have a salary. It's fine. When your back is on the wall and you have to make it work, you will make it work. Okay. But because your back is not on the wall and you have a safety net, you will always play it safe. Okay. Right now, I would say you have an advantage that you can accelerate that transition. So again, how do you get more out of your day? Use the tool that can give you more out of your day. Make sure that you're building as fast as you can to a signal, so to like a decision point. Set yourself a decision point. Say, if this business can do 1 million a month, I will quit my job and go do it. Because if there is a premium that comes from like you fully focusing on the thing that you actually care about. When you're doing a job, yes, you will get a salary, but you will not fully focus. And because you're not fully focused, you will think that the person you're paying is fully focused. They never are. And you will not fire them because you're still thinking about your job and you're like, okay, fine, we can go another month. But if you know that this is my decision point, I need to take the leap, I take the leap. I would go right now, I would go for like a hybrid kind of situation where I try to use the tool, the AI tools, to get the business automated, get products out, hire people, make sure, like, if possible, the thing is managing them to go out and get you results and like measuring their performance, and you keep your job. You can get the best of both worlds, but have a point where you switch. Because if you don't switch, it will still be like maybe 50% run, maybe 40. But when you're fully there, like you care a lot more. There's no, like, an employee will never care as much as you do. They will never. Like, it's still the same thing with your job. If let's say like they woke up like tomorrow and they told you to like do something that you don't want to do, you not do it. But if like in your business, like you have to do the thing, you'll do the thing because it's your business and you're fully there. So yeah, you have to, this is like a personal thing. I would not say that I can prescribe, but usually the thing that you're looking for is on the other side of you making that move, and you can never find out until you have made the move, right? So if you don't move, like, there's things that don't move because you have not moved. There's people who will not find you because you have not moved. There's resources that will not find you because you have not moved. In my example, that guy who gave us like our biggest check would never have found me if I had not moved. And so at a certain point, you actually have to move, but to make it easier, since you still have options, make sure you write down a decision point and say, at this point, I don't care.
Hi, my name is Fahad. So the question I have is, you've mentioned that you worked for other companies like Wave, SafeBoda, And at the beginning, you mentioned that we might never be able to work for those startups that we see in the news on YouTube, like Uber. Do you think there are lessons that you picked from these companies that you can maybe apply? Because I know that most of those companies, they have their operations teams in Uganda, but the technical teams are out there and those guys are really smart. Do you think there are lessons you picked that you can apply, that
Yeah.
you're applying right now?
Yeah. So the first lesson is you can never build your vision in someone else's vision. Okay? So that's the first one. And there are things, if you're working for someone, you want to do, but they don't want you to do. And so you cannot do them. And if you do them, you're going to get fired. Because it's not your business, okay? So you can never build your vision in someone else's vision. But working for someone else actually is a good thing. Okay? And I learned a ton at Wave. Like there's skills that you can never maybe see. There's things that maybe like I never knew I would hire like 6,000 people. 300 I had like a team full time 430 people. Okay? Like that, like full time. I was like burning so much money in it's like some of these stories are like I don't know if I'm allowed to say because there's like cameras. But sometimes you want to work for someone ambitious and see what ambition looks like. Okay. And I remember like I remember at Wave, there's a day when we were onboarding 50,000 customers a day. 50,000. And like, you know, like you're like on this high, you're like, wow, this can actually happen. We can get 3 million customers. We can make MTN CEO go downtown and ask people, why are you switching from MTN and going to Wave? We could do those things. So you need, when you work with like, let's say fast growing startups, I wouldn't say go work for like a company that is already established, because you're going to get in and your brain cells are going to get cooked, because there's people who have been at those companies for 20 years. They will not allow you to make anything move. Okay. They will like look at you and say, look at this one. You think we have not seen people like you. And then like you will also say, okay, I want my job, I want my insurance, I want my big car. And then you sit tight. And you will die in that thing. Not die, but like you know what I'm saying, you know? So you will be in that place where like you're ambitious, but you cannot move. Okay? And so working for startups is a good way to see, like, especially startups that are very well funded. I'm not saying go work for any startup. A startup that is very well funded, or a startup that you have formed. Okay? Because you can wake up in the morning and you're like, we are going to go and you're going to talk to these types of people. And we shall go and talk to those people and you learn. But a startup that is very well funded and is growing, you get to see like how do you build systems that scale? How do you organize a team that delivers results? How do you like manage money? How do you like push what is possible? If you've never seen those things, you cannot say that they will happen to, or maybe they happen to your startup because for some reason you build the thing that everyone else needs, and overnight, this happens in AI these days. Overnight, everyone is like using your thing and you're very famous and OpenAI is giving you $100 million. Those are some outlier stories. But for you to learn how to, the reason to go work for someone else is you will go and learn how to like build a team and how to do all of this without having to risk too much. Okay. The mistake that I think usually happens is like you can get into that place and life happens and you stay there. And I don't think it's a mistake because it's something that can happen. But if you're ambitious and you want to build things, I would say go work for the most ambitious people. Tell them I'll come work for free. Like the way I convinced Wave to launch in Uganda was like super weird. And like I'd never met the founder. I was like, okay, by the way, mobile money here is still expensive. Do you want to come and launch? He was like, how would you launch it? And I sent him a pitch deck. And he's like, okay, fine, let us launch. And of course, because I was able to like do that, not using my money, I got to like compete with MTN, with Airtel. And I poached a lot of their people. And I fired so many people. I don't enjoy that part, but like I also learned like what happens when you do not manage like a moment. So I also know the other side of it. It's not just scaling up, there's also like scaling down. When everyone is like, this is the worst person in this Kampala. And you cannot sleep and you're having nightmares. Eh? So but I didn't have like a lot of downside risk. I was making good money. Okay. But at a certain point, you cannot stay in that system. Yeah.
Good evening. What did you find scary about building in fintech, and what fears were projected onto you when you are building or when you're establishing yourself in the fintech sector in Uganda, and how did you overcome them?
Okay. So question is about fear. Yeah. Okay. So how you overcome fear. So this one is like both internal and external. So internal is like, I think someone talked about, is like believing in the thing that you're doing or having faith in the thing that you're doing. Do you think this thing is important? So I'll tell you, like right now we're working with like women mostly in groups. Like these groups have men, but it's majority women. The Chibina, in the market, in the villages. Do I think that giving maybe low cost loans to these groups is something that should exist? 100%. I believe in that. And I believe that if I do the right thing, these women will do the right thing for me. And I'll make money. Okay. So am I scared that if I go to the group and I talk to them and they say no, that something bad will happen? Of course not. I'm coming and I'm offering a service. If you want it, I'll give it to you. If you don't want it, I'll take it to someone else. Okay? So there's the fear that holds you, the fear that holds you back. The way to get past that fear is like to, how much do you believe in the thing that you're doing? Because if you don't believe in the thing that you're doing, then what's the point? Okay? And then the external fear of like failing, external fear of like, oh, the regulator will come and shut me down. External fear of what if my friends or what if the people do not use? That fear you have to work through. Okay? So that fear is like resistance that is always going to be there in your life. It can happen, let's say, in an industry, and like, so Bank of Uganda might shut me down. What do? I figure out what I have to do to comply with Bank of Uganda. Okay? I might not be able to pay people who work for me. What do? I make sure we are making money so that we have money to do what? To pay them before we bring them in. Okay. What do I do if I do everything else and I fail? How will I look? That goes back to your, like, do I believe in the thing that I'm doing? That this is like the right thing that has to be done? Do I have faith it is going to work out, even when like there's no evidence that it's going to actually work out? And if I believe in that and I still fail, so be it. You know? Like, then we move on to the next thing. So you need to first start with yourself. Like, do I have faith in myself that I can execute this project, that I can find customers, that even if the thing doesn't work out for these 10, 20, 30 people that I've talked to, I will meet someone who actually believes in it. Okay. If you still have conviction, I would say keep pushing in that direction. External fear, like you have to figure out, is it like, can I manage this fear? Can I also laugh it off? Like, okay, my friends don't want to use my thing. It's okay. Okay, I can laugh about it. But when I make it, I remind them that you didn't believe in my thing. Okay, so external fear is like mostly managing it. Yeah, but I don't know if like that is helpful.
Was that helpful?
Or there's a follow-up. Okay.
before Alan starts, we're going to have a group picture after here, and then we're going to have snacks there. And then you can still ask him as many questions as you want as we network.
It's only one of me and many of you.
So on the point of fear, I actually found out that fear could be external, first of all, because of your environment and the people around you. And they will try to exert that thing in you because that's what they feel. But you, what do you have inside you? Number two, if you have fear internally, it is especially building a business or even on your job or anything. Maybe it is because you're not exposed enough to what could be true or right, or or you to have seen that solution work somewhere. It's just like how you go to a job and they ask you, tell us about your experience. If you have experience, you not fear because you know. So if you don't know, you'll be thinking, will they believe me? Yeah. So what you need to do if you're starting a startup and you're wondering, is it going to be, like that cafe that we're talking about, then go for mentorship to people who could be doing this, that maybe business in the same realm, yeah, or someone that you think you believe in and you see, even if they're not in your sphere, but they have a running business and is doing well. Because mentorship, I tell you, cannot be substituted for anything. Even if you're smart in school, even if you have those good grades, maybe, this kind, even get money and have access to capital, you cannot take away mentorship because you need someone who will say, no, 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 I change like this, change. Because I've worked with small startups and I've worked with big companies. And I found that there were companies that were so big, but because their founders did not have any employment before, they are big startups, if I want to call it, because they have systems, but there's a lot of stuff going on that you realize are mistakes being made because they did not go through proper structures, especially like what he's talking about in employment, that you'll go, you know how to run big teams, you know how to call shots when people are not performing. People don't know that, yeah? But they know I have my business. Even today I met one and they need money. But you're thinking they have a very good product, but because they have never been employed, yeah, they don't know how things run. They can't even reach a point of saying, let me stay here as a CEO, yeah, and let someone run with marketing or something. They think they can do everything. You can't, yeah. So at that point, you have to. I still go back to fear, yeah. Look for mentors. Don't be afraid to approach anybody. I don't fear anybody. Number one, of course, I fear God and I respect people. What we are saying is that be confident, believe your little thing, because it's you who knows it, yeah? And go ask people, yeah? And trust me, there's someone for you to help you. That's one thing I believe. There's someone to help you in that same thing that you're pushing. So just believe it. Recently, I think like in August, I lost my mom and I just had to leave the job I was doing. I just wanted to get like some time and just be me, yeah? So, but you cannot just quit a job if you're not really sure where you're going. So I had my business and I would just leave and every morning I just go to my business, I chill there. So that thing he was talking about of you can run a business, yeah, but when you're working somewhere, but you'll never know your business's full potential unless you're there. And the time I spent going to my business, just 2 months that I spent there, because again, other jobs found me. I realized that actually I could make 2 times even my salary. So I wasn't minding so much until one day I said, but you know what, let's check, because I'm going to pay tithe. And usually I pay tithe for my business weekly, yeah? But this time I was like, no, let's just do a monthly and I see. And I was like, wait, you mean we did this much? Like I was not thinking about it. So I want you to know that, and it's because every day people came to my shop, they would be like, oh, you're here. I'm like, yeah, I'm on a sabbatical or I'm whatever leave it is. And then they were like, okay, just people kept coming. Like they just kept coming. oh, you're here. And I'm like, yeah, you know, and I realized your presence alone, yeah, because that business is yours. It's not for your sister, it's not for your mother, it's not for anybody else. It's you. There's a thing that connects with it. I tell people when I'm shopping, I shop with my spirit. Like I just be like, I know this one, no, this one, yes, yeah. And people will just buy that, they'll buy you, yeah. So there's there are a lot, personal brand, a lot of stuff. But yeah, we'll stop there.
Thank
Shada,
you. Thank you. Thank you.
that
Thank you
helps.
so much.
Okay, Shada, follow up.
You
You're
have
good.
a follow up? Okay.
Okay.
Literally, when you get into building in a fintech space, there is so much that is projected onto, like, about regulations, the environment, the economy. So how were you able to overcome that?
So, I mean, again, I've done, this is my fourth fintech. Okay. And so regulation, I'm trying to like understand, maybe if you give me an example of what you're trying to do. Are you trying to do a fintech? Okay, maybe tell me a bit about your fintech. I can give very
USDT wallets.
okay.
I recently attended a meeting with URA, and they said that they're going to roll out something like
Yeah.
regulations like later on.
Yeah.
However, there is still a lot of gray area in that matter,
Yeah, so-
because banks keep on blocking their accounts.
Yeah. So I think this one is where you see a world that the regulation hasn't caught up to. And so first, I want to encourage you that you need to don't stop. Regardless of the regulation, do not stop. Okay? The regulation is going to catch up. If you see the trajectory of crypto or USD, these types of things, you will know. I mean, I remember when Yellow Card put a billboard in front of Bank of Uganda in 2022. This was like a crypto company putting a billboard in front of the central bank, when central bank had put out a memo that no crypto companies can be given any input or output from the wallets. Okay, so you cannot take money out. And I mean, people were buying Bitcoin on cheaper cash. Cheaper cash had to like remove that option. In a world where agents are going to be like doing the work, payments is going to be agentic, and agents are not going to use mobile money. Maybe they will use mobile money out as a disbursement or mobile money in, but the movement of money is definitely going to be in this space that you're working in. So the regulation by default is going to catch up with you. So I would say don't stop. Find a small group of customers that are using you. Keep moving in the direction that you're moving. There's a lot of movement at the central bank. The central bank has shifted its stance on crypto. And so that is going to catch up with you. And so I think you should fear more not having customers than fear the uncertainty of the regulator coming and shutting you down. That is also a privilege. Central bank coming and saying, we are shutting down your business. Okay? It's not a good thing. I wouldn't wish it on anyone, but at least you will have moved. But I'll tell you for free that the regulation is going to change before that happens, because there are papers right now at the central bank on crypto and how it is going to get regulated. There is an entire department where like someone, and there's a director who is responsible for this happening. So I think you're in a good space. Do not, if anything, you should be encouraged to continue working in the direction that you're working, because the world is going to catch up with you and is going to see the thing that you're building. And so do not like sometimes it's like so I mean, we worry about like the most ridiculous things. Like URA shutting me down. URA cannot shut you down. Okay? they will need to, like, of course, take taxes, and like that needs to get figured out. And so if you're managing your finances, you should make sure that like you're compliant, and like their money is like put aside. You might even you should even send it to them even when they're not asking for it, so that whenever they come back, you show that you're paying whatever you're supposed to pay. But do not fear so much like, oh, I cannot operate because it is unclear what is going to happen. The alternative to that is I go to Kenya, because like there's like already regulations. But I'm sure like the reason you asked that question, you want to like build your business here, and so you just keep moving in that direction. Don't piss off a lot of people. Also be compliant, Emil. The other thing that can actually get you in jail is like, look, I'm now adding to your fear, but as long as you're not allowing limits above 20 million, any customer who's doing a transaction of 5 million to 20 million, you have proper KYC, you're good. Okay. And so sometimes you want to be proactive and actually bring the regulation into your business. So if you want to be fully compliant, you can actually write to the FIA and say like, this week we got 2 transactions of people who withdrew 20 million from their wallet, but these are their national IDs. We have checked that they are not politically exposed people. There's like details that you can go into. So read the regulation, make sure like all your systems and that your entire business is compliant. And if a regulator comes and the only thing is they haven't caught up, but you're managing people's money very well, your customers are not complaining, because one thing that will cause regulators to come to you is like when customers are complaining that they have put money in this wallet and they cannot take it out. So make sure your customers are happy. And if your customers are happy and you're also like compliant, you know your customers, you have all the proper KYC, and you report suspicious transactions. So someone is moving 20 million every day through your system. You need to know who that person is, because you don't want to find out that he was funding terrorism, and that is like a serious situation.